It's a burning thing. It's not burning thing. I don't know. It may burn or not. It will burn up to some extent. Like in this week or upcoming week. Then it will get off అయిపోయింది. So we are talking about what? BRICS. About BRICS, the facts related to it. What is its importance? What are the challenges? What is domain related to Indian perspective? If you see the IR questions, so generally the IR questions can be done in the dimension of India to other country or India to other grouping or India to other region, or they may ask an individual grouping. Mostly the question in the IR are in these dimensions only. If you see the IR paper of the previous year's questions, India ki a grouping ఏంటి, India ka country కి సంబంధం ఏంటి, India ka region కి సంబంధం ఏంటి, or else overall grouping of that. For example, I2 U2 is the last year question. If you see the mains paper, I2 U2 is the last year question. Likewise, which there in the news, they will ask on it. So this year there is three things on the one is SCO, G20 and the BRICS. These are all there in the news. But we don't know what they may ask, but I will cover as much as possible from this BRICS thing, because I am trying to cover in different dimensions, not in a single dimension, different dimensions. So for India next, recently what was happened? BRICS plus. Next one, important info regarding it. I'll tell some questions also regarding these things. So very important. This article names, I don't know like how these people will write the names very well. I don't know whether it is visible or not. BRICS test for India's multipolarity rhetoric. Just let me know what is multipolarism or multipolarity, whatever it may be. What is this multipolarism? Any one of you know IR optional from this class? PSIR? No one? Chappandi, what is multipolarism? Or else very easy thing. See, if you divide that one, ee word ni divide cheyandi. What is polar? Poles. There are North Pole and South Pole. Earlier, if you see the thing, unipolar. The world is rotated around the USA. Okay? Prior to this globalization, during the time of prior to the 2008, all those things, the world is in around the USA. But at present time, in this 2020s or recent times, the world is being changed, right? The world, like the things has happened, like China is going dominated and the Russia's influence is growing more. These two things are growing more, and the India is also an aspiring one. Multipolarism is what he has, exactly what he has told. Not only a single pole, it is based on the different blocks. Like it is creating a dimension that you can join like any one of it for a development purpose. Not like అంటే హెజిమోనీ అవసరం లేదు, ఒక సింగిల్ పర్సన్ హెజిమోనీతో కాకుండా ఒక డిఫరెంట్ డైమెన్షన్స్లో నీకు ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇట్ విల్ కమ్స్ అండర్ మల్టీ పోలారిజం. అంటే నాట్ ఓన్లీ కాన్సన్ట్రేటెడ్ ఆన్ సింగిల్ పవర్, అదొకటి గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. గాట్ ఇట్? సో నౌ వాట్ ఇస్ ద డైమెన్షన్ ఈస్ బ్రిక్స్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఆరిజిన్ ఆఫ్ ద బ్రిక్స్? ఎనీ వన్ ఆఫ్ యూ నో? బ్రిక్, విచ్ బ్రిక్? గోడకు కట్టే బ్రిక్. So it's not like if you see, there is no like institutional like perfect setup for the BRICS. There is no perfect like headquarter, all those things for this BRICS. Why? Because it's just a grouping. Got it? So earlier in the 2000s, there is a person called Neil. He is a member of Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is an economical, if you see the, what you can say, financial institution. He has suggested that in these 2000s, there are some countries which are aspiring in the next 21st century, they may change the world. Okay, what are those countries? He found is BRIC, Brazil, Russia, India, China, because they are growing. Apart from the West dominated this USA or this European countries, they are gaining much, right? Based on this BRICS came into the picture when 2009. Why? Because earlier during the 2008 there is an financial crisis where the world has seen that USA has fallen. Like USA, their trust has decreased because of that Goldman Sachs, that Lehman Sachs, all those things. Lehman Brothers issues, so it's a different thing. But remember the 2000 financial crisis. So world has lost the world has lost the credibility on the USA. So that's why they have in the 2009 they have formed the BRICS grouping. They have generally consulted in the Russia. Ekaterinburg is the place. Got it? First meeting has happened. Till now it's been continuing. So in the 2010, South Africa has joined this BRICS. This is a basic information. The reason behind is this one. But there are some main what you can say objectives for an organization, for a grouping to set up. There are some objectives, right? So what are these objectives? Just we'll see. So what we call this as 3 pillars of BRICS. What are the 3 pillars? Political and security. Second one is what? Economic and financial. Next one, cultural and people to people exchanges. Very, very important when you are writing a mains answer regarding these BRICS. You need to categorize your answer based on these 3 domains. If try to make it possible, or else at least put these things in your introduction or conclusion or in way between. My suggestion is try to frame an answer, like body of the answer based on these dimensions, because it will give you a very good score, because you are going in the exact dimension what it has framed. Got it? Political and security. Why? What is this political and security? Geopolitics. The word coming to this political is what? Geopolitics. So you know, right? West dominated country, G7. G7 is what? West dominated country. So as a counter to it, they have started this grouping. This is a political aspect. Security means terrorism aspect. So next one, economic and financial. So if you see the 40%, yeah, it's behind this one. So next one, coming to this cultural and people to people exchange. I'll tell example of this also in the later phases. So cultural and people to people exchanges should be there to promote tourism, all those things. Right? In these dimensions, you need to talk your answer, whatever it may be. So why this in the news? So BRICS plus 6. The word is what? BRICS plus 6, the recent addition. So this is a very basic data regarding this, representing 41% of the global population, 24% of the global GDP and 16% of the global trade. Chairmanship of the forum is rotated annually. Founded 2000, first summit at where? Ekaterinburg, 2009 in Russia. Okay, some facts related to it. So very, very important. We'll discuss in detail regarding it. So I have covered as much as from my side, but I don't know how the question can be framed. But very important, if you go on through this, you'll get a good idea regarding what is this BRICS, all those things. So the importance of this BRICS: global governance for more representation and inclusivity to reduce this West dominance. So that's the reason why in the recent summit they have adopted plus 6 members who are something like-minded. They are generally saying that's like-minded, but in fact they are not like-minded. We will talk about that also. Okay, just remember, for a good global governance. So if you see the recent this BRICS Summit, where it was happened? South Africa. So Johannesburg. So this president has country head has invited nearly 64 members, 64 or 67 members as a part of this event, not to be a member, as a part of, as a guests, he has invited them. So it means that it want to promote what? Global governance. Next one is South-South cooperation, very, very, very important thing. There is a word called anyone of you heard this word? It is called brand line. If you heard, it's fine. Brand line is nothing much. The world has categorized North versus South. If you see, apart from this region, Asian region like China, all those things, if you see the northern region like Russia, Europe, USA, UK, these are all developed economies. If you see the southern picture, for coming to the half of the India, Africa, the Southern America, all those things, right? For example, the Southeast Asian nations, they are all comes under developing or least developed countries. So to differentiate the line between this north and south, there is a line name called what? Brand line. Very important. Got it? So as a supportive hand, as a like a voice to the southern nations or a voice to the developing nations, these BRICS has formed. So Brazil is a southern nation. So apart from the Russia, just forgot about that Russia. You see the South-South cooperation, it should be the main dimension. Next one is what? Geopolitics, it should be balanced. So what was happening generally? What is that? How to maintain this geopolitical balance? At present, China versus USA. If you see these BRICS plus 6 edition, mostly are under the hand of China. So I am talking in the two different views. I am talking a single point. I am talking in that view and this view. There should be a positive side. There is also a negative side, other side of it. So South-South cooperation, but Russia is not part of it. I have already talked about this one. I have already global governance for representation and the inclusivity, but it was not happening. Why? Because why global? There is no inclusivity. How? I'll tell with the facts also. Just be in. So next one, economy. How much? 18% of the world trade. Next one, terrorism. Very, very main aspect. Where if from the India, if Modi goes anywhere, he will talk about in a single word that is called related to the terrorism. If you see any of the speech or something related in the international perspective, he will talk about the terrorism word. But so one thing. Next one, multipolarism, which the class I have started with the multipolarism. How the multipolarism should be? It should be equity, inclusion and representation. So again, there is an like controversy which was happening is multipolarism is another version of imperialism. Heard? Anyone of you heard? Multipolarism is another version of imperialism. Means earlier there is a domination of only single country, that is called what? USA. Now the shifting of focus is from to China, Russia, to feel their greed, to feel their need. This shifting of multipolarity is concentrating on these two poles. So if you see these three poles, for example, USA, Russia, China, India doesn't have any pole, even though we have reached the south pole of the moon. Okay. So at present picture, they are playing the role. Whole. So Russia, China. So again creating a picture of imperialism. If you see the BRICS plus motive, BRICS should be expanded is the motive of China. In the 2017 or 18, there is a declaration called Xiamen Declaration. In that declaration, it has mooted that we need an expansion of the BRICS. These declarations are very important. I have already that one. I will show you. No worry regarding it. But remember, but multipolarism, whether it is equity or inclusion or representation, will it really happening? That you see, based on the question, you need to answer like that. I am giving you two views. Just note those two views. I am giving some examples regarding it. So next one, very, very important. sustainable development goals. Why I have mentioned this? Because if you see, there is a bank called New Development Bank. It is a bank under the BRICS. So if you see this BRICS, this NDB's financing, it is giving financing to the sustainable development projects. Not only in India, in this I'll talk about this NDB also, New Development Bank. So this bank is giving funds to whom? Developing an emerging nation to develop like structures regarding this sustainable development mechanisms. Got it? So that's why we're concentrating on this one. So these are the very important things, importance of this BRICS at present picture. What are the challenges? Very, very important. So coming to the one perspective, that is what different government ideologies, very, very important. So Russian government is different, right? It's political, like politically oriented, like China. It's based on what? Like communism. India, democracy. Every political ideologies are different, right? Obviously, there is a clash of interest, right? Then how they can work in a together manner, right? One point you need to. So the main motive generally based on his insights of it can be a future economic domain. They have come together and formed, but there are different political ideologies with them, right? Obviously, right, China is focusing to create an edge in this area. So it's trying to dominate over here. So next one, combination of BRICS and SCO. So again, it is a domination of which country? China and Russia. Russia is also part of SCO, you know it, right? Again it's to this multipolarism. You heard a word of globalization? Globalization. We are experiencing presently, it's a globalization. It's not globalization we are experiencing at present, it's a globalization. Why? Because every country, like which country is developing, they are trying to aspire from their side. For example, if you take the India, we are concentrating more on the make in India. We want to be our self-sufficient country. If we are self-sufficient, we don't need any exports and imports, right? Like the majority things, major imports and exports, we don't need them, right? If you see the China, right? China is also at present, they are working without exports, and exports, for example, their main domain of economy is based on exports only, right? But by seeing this world picture, they are going to change their policy to reduce their exports. Andukee present, if you see the last class, first current affairs class lo cheppinappudu kuda, there is an deflation in the China. So they are adjusting their situations. Ante exports lekapoyina sir, they are trade surplus country. At present, they are trade surplus country. They are making some changes to reduce this globalized perspective by seeing this COVID thing. So this process of globalization is happening. And next, USA also, you know, make America great. If you see the Trump's policies, the Joe Biden policies, recent policies, any one of the policies, they are seeing what? To reduce this global influence. Got it? So next, if you see any of the countries, for example, Russia, Ukraine domination. Got it? These are all the matters which will reduce like trust between the countries. Got it, right? If you see all those things, it will reduce what? Trust between the countries. So that is the reason why the process at present, the process is going on what is called as globalization. It was mentioned in an ORF, like a research paper. I have picked this word, it's a very important thing. You can mention in your mains answers also. Got it? Anybody have heard this one? I only heard recently. It's no worry. So where I have stopped, it's a combination of BRICS plus SCO. Again, the domination of both. So next, coming to the West view. So obviously, USA will try to gain some importance in these regions, right? West view means Europe and all those things. So next one, conflict of interest with the other groupings. Very, very important. I'll tell in the later. For example, I2U2 example I am giving. I'll tell I2U2. Heard this one? India, Israel, UAE, USA, UAE, USA, right? And I want to introduce a word. It was also mentioned in the recent that paper, that is called mini laterals on rise. What the word called as mini lateral. For example, if you see this I2 U2, it's a very small grouping. These are not called as multilateral groupings. These are called as what? Mini lateral groupings. For example, quad, 4-member thing. You heard, right? So these words are very important. You can use these words in your papers. Mini lateral, globalization, all those things. Got it? So coming where I have stopped. So there is a conflict of interest, I2 U2. So at the same time, India is a part of this SCO and this quad. So there is a conflict of interest between these things, right? Not, I am talking about the Indian perspective, but if you see the different countries also the same thing happened, right? For example, USA, UAE and USA are very close friends. Take this I2 U2 example only. So in this U2, USA and UAE are close allies. If you see the UAE defense thing, most of the defense equipment they have imported from this USA only. So coming to this BRICS Plus, recently this UAE has part of this BRICS Plus. Again there is a conflict of interest between the groupings, right? There will be again a trust deficit. Undada? Obviously. So next one important other thing is what? Poverty. If you see the BRICS, very good number of poverty. If you see the China, poverty is there. India, famous. So poverty. Next one, inequality. Yeah, coming to this inequality, there are two kinds of inequality. You heard that? Any idea? What can you differentiate what is this income inequality versus wealth inequality? Any one of you can differentiate? So exactly, for example, wages, whatever it comes under everything regarding this wages. So subsidies, these are all monthly we will getting. So what is this wealth? Through this you can create some asset through the mode of savings. Got it? If you see this picture, India has both income and wealth inequality. If you see the recent trend also, there is a growing of both income inequality and the wealth inequality. But there is an, if you see the top 1% of the wealthy individuals has something around 30 to 40% of the money with them. So rest is behind the other things. Got it? 1%. For example, if you see the top persons, which the top Forbes magazine, Mukesh Ambani is there. That Adani group is there. They are the top individuals only, right? Most of the wealth is concentrated into them, their hands only, right? Not for the bottom rung of people like us. So there is a difference between what? Income and wealth inequality in these countries. So some country, so which could be like which could be pro, అంటే ఏది సపోర్టివ్గా ఏది పాజిటివ్గా ఉంటుంది? ఇన్కమ్ అనేది ఉండాలా, వెల్త్ అనేది ఉండాలా? వెల్త్ అనేది ఉండాలి. అట్ ప్రెజెంట్ వీఆర్ గుడ్ ఎట్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ పీపీపీ ఉండొచ్చు, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వేజ్ షేర్లో అలా ఉండొచ్చు, బట్ వీఆర్ నాట్ వెల్త్ అనేది కొంతమంది హ్యాండ్స్లోనే ఉంది. ఇఫ్ యూ సీ ద వాట్ యూ కెన్ సే ల్యాండ్ ఫార్మ్ సైజ్, most of this concentrated on the small and marginal farmers. If you see the other side of the perspective, something around 30% of more than large farmers has this one. They are very minute people. This is the difference. There is a difference between this income inequality and the wealth inequality in the India, I'm talking about, if you are talking about the India, because mostly you can talk in this dimension, the Indian dimension also, but if you want to make something substantiate in that answers, you can make these statements also. It will change your answer domain also. So next, coming to here, economic divergence. Obviously both have different interests, right? China is interested in different thing, India is interested in different thing, Russia is interested in different thing. It has its own advantages. So next one, institutional problems. NDB will talk about this. Next one, contingency reserve arrangement. CRA stands for what? Contingency reserve arrangement. Any one of you heard this IMF? World Bank? So to counter that, it's not like a counter, yeah, it's counter to that only. To counter that, this BRICS has established this NDB and CRA. New Development Bank to the World Bank. CRA is like an, what you can say, IMF loans. Special drawing rights, exactly, a special drawing right, something like contingency reserve is like a special drawing rights. For example, if you are in the BOP crisis, or you are, then they will support with these reserves. So New Development Bank, it will fund. Got it? So where is the headquarter? Shanghai. It comes in 2014 or 15 through the declaration of Fortaleza Declaration. The basic regarding this New Development Bank. So next one, recent BRICS Plus. Again we'll talk about this in detail in this thing. So next one, protectionism. Next one, very very important thing which was growing in trend. What is this D? What it means? So if you see the India's works also, we are going to hyphenate from dehyphenate from the dollar. For example, if you see recently UAE and USA, we are going to do our multi agreement with our own currencies, and the India, Sri Lanka also. And recently if you see the payment to the Russia has asked through the mode of yuan, Chinese yuan. So it means that they are going to de-dollarize their economy. So de-dollarization hard currency. So at present situation, there is the value is getting reduced for this dollar, and the countries want to. So we are talking about the concept of multipolarism, right? So there is reduced in this unipolar domination of this dollar. So they are working on this de-dollarization. So presently very very important trend is going on with the de-dollarization. So these are the challenges going on for India. So India specific, we need to categorize some point. BRICS should be what? Consensus based. For example, in the BRICS decisions, it should be taken in a consensus. Do you know what consensus ante telusa? Andaram kalisi kattukoni oka opinion medaku vachi cheyadam ane consensus. Got it? BRICS Plus should be based on the consensus. So next one, China oriented. Obviously we have an, see the countries which got adopted here also, they are based on the Chinese dominance. So next one, there is a conflict of interest with these groups, Quad and ITU. Next one, Russia and again US. So Russia Ukraine war is there, but even if we are a part of it, we are not raising a voice against it, right? Where is this voice of developing nations? So Ukraine is also developing nation, we are not voicing about it, right? So next one, India's policy of non-alignment, but we are in a perspective of non-alignment, but we are aligned with the both the things. That's to the west and through this China and Russia domination. So next one, very very important, we have a comparative advantage over here. India's startup ecosystem is the third largest startup ecosystem. So if we have good contacts with this BRICS and BRICS plus 6, we can invest more opportunities. Startup ecosystem, you can throw our startups to the other countries to help them. Got it? So next one is what? Culture. Recently if you go through this recent thing, he has visited this Swami Narayana temple in the South Africa. Who? Modi sir. He has visited what? Swami Narayana temple in the South Africa. It is a cultural exchange, right? Got it? Culture plays a huge role over here. So do you know the Swami Narayana temple, like in India, where you can see the Swami Narayana temple? He's from the Gujarat, I think so. That's the reason why he's highlighting, but I don't know exactly. So there is a temple in the Delhi, Swaminarayan temple is there. It's like they'll treat very good. The temple architecture is too good. Like in recent times, you can see a new architecture for the temple construction is very good. Or this Swaminarayan, you need to like wait in the lines. You need to go leave your chappals, everything. There is a theater also in this Swami. Near Yamuna Bank. I have visited once or twice, but it is not Swaminarayan. Yes, exactly. That is called as Akshardham. I felt it is like a Sikshardham. Really, నేనైతే బాగుంటుందనే చెప్పాను. Why I felt, because the reason is you need to walk without the chappals on the floor on the midday of sun 2:30కి 2:30కి ఆ టెంపుల్ అంతా నువ్వు ఒట్టి కాలు మీద తిరగాలి. అంటే తెలియకుండానే యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్ ప్రదక్షిణాలు. అంటే నీకంటూ నువ్వు ఒక డెసిషన్ తీసుకోకుండానే, జనరల్గా మనం అనుకుంటాం కదా ఇది చేస్తే ఇది మీ చుట్టూ తిరుగుతాం, జనరల్గా అనుకుంటాం కదా, అలా మనం అనుకోని అవసరం లేదు. అక్కడికి వెళ్ళిపోతే వాళ్ళే చెప్పులు తీసే ఇచ్చేస్తారు. ఆ వేడిలో మీరు నడుచుకుంటూ తిరిగితే యుల్ గెట్ దట్ బ్లెస్సింగ్స్. ఇట్ డిపెండ్స్. Generally, it will closing time is something around 4:30 or 5:30 or 6:30. Show will be there. There is a light show. Everything, if you go through the temple, there is a mini theater will be there. ఆ థియేటర్లో స్వామినారాయణ చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి పెద్ద ఎలా అయ్యాడో యూ విల్ సీ దట్. అండ్ దెర్ ఈస్ అన్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ ఆర్ట్ ఎగ్జిబిషన్ హౌ హీ హాస్ గ్రోన్. అండ్ దెర్ ఈస్ అన్ అనదర్ లైట్ షో విచ్ ఆల్సో షో దిస్ ఏజెస్, నాట్ ఏజెస్, అబౌట్ దిస్ వాట్ ఇస్ దిస్ అగ్నిదేవుడు and this fire, what is this, panchabhutalu. Yeah, they will play something this Swaminarayan will play this panchabhutalu. All those things you can see in that laser show. You visited this Lumbini Park laser show? Any one of you? No? Put leda adi. I don't know whether it is there or not, but laser show will be there at that Swaminarayan temple. But it's a worth visit. You can see that it's a worth visit of the temple architecture, but I don't know if you have got emotional or the cultural connection or this religious connection, it will be another level of thing for you. It's up to you. So next one, foreign trade policy 2023. Recently they have foreign trade policy has came, right? So you can link with this one also. Next one is what? So these are the views related to the India. So you need to cover in these many dimensions. If you have another dimension also you can cover. But if you want to talk BRICS to what you can say Indian perspective, you need to talk about all these dimensions. Got it? You can use this words globalization, minilaterals, all those things. It will enhance your answers. Got it? So see some stats here. These stats are very important regarding with G7 and BRICS, regarding what? Purchasing or parity. Okay, so 1995, this is what? G7, this is what? BRICS. At present 2023, PPP got more where? BRICS. Very important fact, very important fact. You can mention in your answers. So next one. So the recent expansion. So Argentina, already in southern Africa, Brazil is there. Argentina got inscribed in this one. So why? Because it is famous for lithium, for rare earth metals, all those things. Next one is Ethiopia. Very important. It's one of the growing country. Where in African region, it's one of the growing country. So that's the reason why it was part of it. Next one, two starch rivals, Saudi Arabia versus UAE. They are rivals, you know. They don't like each other, but they are part of this BRICS place. I don't know why. Let it be. They are dominated with what? Oil. So generally they are going to look for different opportunities. So there is an you heard a word of called cartelization. Any one of you heard a word of this cartelization? What is that? That yes.
They all coming together and they only decide the price of the oil.
Yeah, it's cartelization. దేనిలో మాట్లాడుకోవచ్చు, బట్ దేర్ ఇట్ ఇస్ ద యు ఆర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ ద ఆయిల్ కార్టలైజేషన్. కార్టలైజేషన్ అంటే ఏం లేదు, ఇట్స్ వెరీ ఈజీ థింగ్. యూ విల్ డిసైడ్ ద ప్రైస్. మార్కెట్ కండిషన్ ఇదంతా వదిలేసే. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ లైక్ ఎన్ మొనార్కీ, మొనోపోలీ, monopolizing the oil trade. అంటే OPEC, you know OPEC countries generally deal with this cartelization. అంటే they want to monopoly, they will decide the rate. So దాని వల్ల there is a concept called Asian premium. Anybody heard this word? Asian premium అంటే ఏషియన్ కంట్రీస్కి ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఈ OPEC నుంచి ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ చేసే ఆయిల్కి దెర్ ఈజ్ అన్ అడిషనల్ అమౌంట్ దే విల్ ఛార్జ్, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ఏషియన్ ప్రీమియం. దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో అండర్ ద పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ కార్టలైజేషన్. టు డిక్రీజ్ దిస్ అంటే ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ తగ్గించడానికి ఇట్ విల్ హెల్ప్ అస్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ ఇన్ దిస్ బ్రిక్స్ 6+లో ఇట్ విల్ హెల్ప్ అస్ అంటే చెప్తున్నా, హెల్ప్ ఎలా అవుతుంది నాకు ఇండియాకి అని చెప్పడానికి ఈ కార్టలైజేషన్ తగ్గిస్తుంది అని చెప్తున్నా. అనదర్ సైడ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. So next one, these are only the countries, right? Iran and Egypt, right? Iran, you know it, right? Is a friend of USA. అవునా కాదా? కాదు కదా. Sanctions, they have laid these nuclear sanctions, all those things, right? So it need an other domination to play their role. So Iran. Next, Egypt. So how many countries are there? Like we don't know, right? The question can be framed in the prelims also. What are the countries? Like in South Africa lo ఎన్ని countries BRICS లో పార్ట్ ఉండొచ్చు, అలా కూడా క్వశ్చన్ ఫ్రేమ్ చేయొచ్చు. జస్ట్ బీ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. BRICS plus 6. So is it visible to you? GDP with new members, how much? 29%. Saudi Arabia is the only $1 trillion economy being added to the BRICS. Recent edition lo ever $1 trillion economy? Saudi Arabia. Next one is population. How much? Nearly 50%, 46%. Oil production 43%. Export of goods, how much? 25%. BRICS share of global exports will increase slightly, continuing to led by the obviously China. So these facts are important for you. So next, another facts are there. I don't know where I have mentioned. I don't know whether it is visible or not. I'll let you know. India's trade equation with BRICS members. So if you see, this is what? Deficit. This is what? Surplus. So we have ఒక్క కంట్రీతో ఉన్న ప్లస్లో ఉన్నామా ఎక్స్పోర్ట్స్లో? ఎక్స్పోర్ట్స్ అండ్ సారీ ఇట్స్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్స్ అండ్ ఇంపోర్ట్స్. అనదర్ వన్ సర్ప్లస్ డిస్ప్లేస్. సో ఎక్స్పోర్ట్స్ ఏంటిది? ఇంపోర్ట్స్. సో టెల్ మీ వన్ కంట్రీ విచ్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఎ గుడ్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్స్ హియర్. ఈజిప్ట్ అండ్ Iran. Remember these points are very very important. So next one is what? Brazil. Next one, UAE. If you see the large amount of thing, which country which have exports? If you see here large amount, UAE. Remember this is the first one. So next one, yeah, China. Next one, Brazil, Saudi Arabia. Okay, but remember these things are very important. But altogether positive is with whom? Iran and somehow with the Egypt. These points you need to answer when you want to substantiate answer. అంటే బ్రిక్స్ 6+ రావటం వల్ల ఇండియాకి పక్కన కంట్రీస్తో ఉన్న దాంట్లో ఏంటి అనే దానికి దీస్ థింగ్స్ యూ నీడ్ టు ప్లేస్ ఇన్ యువర్ ఆన్సర్. ఎందుకంటే ఇండివిజువల్ కంట్రీ వైజ్ యూ నీడ్ టు టాక్. రిమెంబర్ విచ్ కంట్రీ? ఫస్ట్ వన్ UAE, వీ హ్యావ్ గుడ్ వెయిటేజ్. సో నెక్స్ట్ వన్ China in terms of exports and imports. So next one, new BRICS to account for 2/3 of India's total trade deficit. See, very very important. Trade deficit ఈ బ్రిక్స్ ప్లస్ వల్ల ఇట్ వాస్ క్రియేటింగ్ మోర్ ట్రేడ్ డెఫిసిట్. ఈ +6 యాడ్ అవటం వల్ల ఇట్ ఈస్ క్రియేటింగ్ మోర్. ఇండియాకి ఏమవుతుంది? ట్రేడ్ డెఫిసిట్ పెరుగుతుందా తగ్గుతుందా? పెరుగుతుంది. సో ఇట్స్ నెగిటివ్, రైట్? సో ఇలాగా సబ్స్టాన్షియేట్ చేసి యూనిట్ టు రైట్ యువర్ ఆన్సర్స్. ఇలా చేస్తేనే మార్కులు వేస్తారు. మిగిలినప్పుడు కూడా మార్కులు వేస్తారు, కానీ 1-2 వేస్తారు, ఇక్కడ 5-6 వేస్తారు. So got it? Earlier it is around how much? Now it is 68%. Exactly 68 అనే అవసరం లేదు, కానీ above 60%, above 65% అలా you can mention overall rough figures. But trade deficit పెరుగుతుందని you need to tell. So next one is India trade deficit expands in the. So it is a perspective of $1 billion. సో పైన దానిలో ఏమో ట్రేడ్ డెఫిసిట్, హౌ మచ్ ఇస్ ద డెఫిసిట్ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ $1 billion? హౌ మచ్? ఇట్ ఈస్ సంథింగ్ అరౌండ్ $180 billion. ట్రేడ్ డెఫిసిట్ విల్ బి. సో ఇండియా రన్స్ ఎ ట్రేడ్ డెఫిసిట్ ఆఫ్ అబౌట్ $84 billion విత్ హూమ్? చైనాతోనే $84 billion ట్రేడ్ డెఫిసిట్లో ఉన్నాం. గాట్ ఇట్? సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద బేసిక్ ఫ్యాక్ట్స్. యూ నీడ్ టు substantiate this with your answer. So I've already told you this contingency reserve agency, all those things. So see this new development bank. What are the focus areas of this? These are taken from the website of the. See, clean energy and efficiency, transport infrastructure, just go all those things, nothing much here. So how they are investing, because the question can also be framed like this also. Ante NDB lo ఏ areas lo they are investing అనే దానికి ఇలా కూడా ఫిలిమ్స్ క్వశ్చన్ ఫ్రేమ్ చేయొచ్చు. జస్ట్ గో త్రూ దిస్ PDF, ఐ విల్ అప్లోడ్ ఇట్. కాబట్టి కొంచెం కష్టపడి జూమ్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉండాలి. సో దెర్ ఈస్ అన్ స్పెషల్, దెర్ ఈస్ అ మ్యాగజైన్ విచ్ వాస్ లాంచ్డ్ బై దిస్ బ్రిక్స్ స్పెషల్, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ వాట్? వెరీ 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 ఇంపార్టెంట్ వన్, Ubuntu. There is an OS also, you can call this Ubuntu, but remember Ubuntu. So these are the declaration of it, just go through it in later parts. So Brasilia declaration, Xiamen declaration. So recent one is Johannesburg declaration, New Delhi declaration, all those things related to this BRICS, just go through it, nothing much, just remember the names. I don't know whether it is visible or not. It is a pre-YQ prelims question. With reference to the grouping of countries known as BRICS, consider the following statement. First summit, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Brazil lo inda? Russia. South Africa was the last to join the grouping. At the time 2010 lo adi correct. So ippudu plus 6 members. Remember those names. Ala question frame cheyochu. It's a previous year question. So next one, rapid financing instrument and the rapid credit facility are related to which of the following lending institution? International Monetary Fund. Same alane contingent reserve agency was given by whom? BRICS, SCO ala istaru anamata. So what is the answer? BRICS. So this is the another PYQ. Fortal as a declaration recently seen in the related to which of the following? BRICS. Moodu questionlu chusara. Not only this, international agents, for example, ఆ ఇయర్లో ముందు ఇయర్లో ఉన్న వాటి దాని మీద దే విల్ ఫ్రేమ్ ఏ క్వశ్చన్స్. సో ఐ హావ్ కవర్డ్ యాజ్ మచ్ యాజ్ పాసిబుల్ ఫ్రమ్ ద బ్రిక్స్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్. సో ఇంతకంటే మీకు ఏమైనా దొరికితే చూడండి, ఐఎమ్ నాట్ అగైన్స్ట్ ఆల్ దోస్ థింగ్స్, బట్ అట్లీస్ట్ విచ్ ఐ హావ్ టోల్డ్ యూ. సో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద క్వశ్చన్, ఎనీబడి ఆఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ రిటన్ టుడేస్ ఎగ్జామ్ మెయిన్స్? Did you find the last question regarding the BRICS of Indian perspective? So you can use this one things. So I have covered all those things.